Well, it's a nice quiet day, so I've got time to reflect upon my purchase. Regret, possibly. We got some chassis work to do. That's not horrible. What you get over here? Yeah. It's just got some half-ass work to it. This is the carrier bearing mount that they put together. This is actually body mount, chassis mount on both sides, and they cut into it, which is fine. It's only heavy duty in here, so I think I'm gonna maybe just clean this up and then trim this one back to match, and then fabricate a new piece that will go into the bolt back in there, come up and across, follow that line, and then it'll have a hanger down here and a hanger over here for that carrier bearing, and just fabricate a whole new piece in there, a whole new little section. And then up here, I got a little bit less to do. We're just going to come back in here. I don't know if I'll use these same 3 holes that they drilled in here, 4 holes, but we'll fabricate a new piece that'll go from back in here. It'll come all the way across, and it'll cut just like this. It won't have a bottom to it, but it'll come straight across like that, and it'll cut. I'll cut it right there. We'll have that bolt, and then this will get cut right here, so it'll be straight across, nice and clean. We'll bolt it from the back side, and it'll just be a plate instead of a channel. I might have to do a little work for this lip right here, but that will be okay. What else do we have to do that I saw? So this is where the master cylinder used to be. I don't know if that's just carpet. They put something on that, but that's sharp as shit too. Just clean that up a little bit, get rid of these bolts. Now these bolts, on the other cars they used to come out, but you see that? So those bolts actually used to come in from the other way. Somebody's had this body off of this car, I assure you. Here's the body mounts right here for the front, and they fell right into place. So somebody's picked this thing up and got it off the frame. I don't know. And then there's rocks up in between the frame and the body. That's not reassuring at all. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I don't think I'm going to pick the body up, but I don't think it would take much, really. Something else that really concerned me, well, the heater hose. I don't want to miss it. This heater hose is going to get rerouted. There's not really enough room in here, so this heater hose will go down and under and follow with this one, and then I'll bring it up. I wish maybe I take this out and take it to my radiator guy and have him turn that neck to go this way, and then I can bring it in here and plumb it in right there. That would be really cool. These lines are too long. They got to get trimmed back, and I'm going to put longer rubber lines going up here to the transmission cooler outlets. That's just low pressure, so just rubber hose that, I don't know, make it 2 foot worth, maybe a foot worth, I don't know. But the way these are right now, they're binding up, and it's really a whole mess. There's one other thing that I really saw that made me nervous. I don't know what's going to happen when I get this transmission in and mounted. Is that engine going to rock? Is the back end going to rock full up? Because if it does, I'll be all right. But if it doesn't, you can see right in there where these bolts are. You see that bolt? And you see my oil pan, how close that is. That's part of the steering. Studebaker did this nice little center pin back in there. You see that? That's kind of a fulcrum. And it wears out. It's kind of janky, cheap, but I need to do that too. So probably a motor mount shim, which will be right in there. I'll probably end up just making a plate and jacking the motor up, unbolting the motor from that motor mount. There's 3 bolts there and 3 bolts on the other side. If I can get to them, I'll unbolt them and jack the motor up, or I'll pull out the motor mount bolts, those long ones right there that go front to back. Pull those out, jack the motor up, and then get to the motor mounts on the block, and put a plate in there and bolt it down 1/4 inch on each side. We should bring that up so that clears a little better back in there. And of course the bumper, I've got the bumper on the list. This one's not horrible. It needs to be lined up and tended to. You got loose hardware everywhere. But all in all, it's a solid car. It just needs attention. Like this shit that they did. Well, I mean, of course the carrier bearing mount, that's just terrible. And this stuff right here, these can come off. They don't need this. So this, a piece of heater hose. I want to see if that's fuel line. It just looks like heater hose. Fuel lines usually, it almost looks like it's got nylon in it. Anyway, you don't need to clamp it. Just put a zip tie right there and a zip tie up front like there. And that'll block that and it won't be able to slide back and forth. And we can take those ugly ass hose clamps off. Nobody's going to see a zip tie or care. Just little stuff. It's always the little stuff. I do like that they left the original exhaust bracket on there. I'll probably leave that on there. There's no reason to take it off. It's not in the way of anything. Almost nostalgic, you know. Just little stuff. We got an emergency brake cable that's not hooked up to anything. That actually came up here to the firewall area. It was on a handle. They may have taken the handle out of the chassis, and they may have used the hole or the area for that master cylinder up there. They put an upgraded master cylinder in this thing, and then the lines come down here. This line's not on par with anything, and he's rubbing on this bolt. These bolts need to be cut and pulled out. And this should get clamped on here, but then we got this old support bracket for the old original clutch pedal, and it's in the way. So I don't know, but that's the underneath of it. Once the underneath is fabbed and put together and painted up and looks better than jank, then I'll be happy, and I can continue with the body. But right now, this has got to be the focus down here because it really needs a lot of attention. I'm going to get a car tomorrow that should allow me to have a back seat and some extra parts for that Champion. So anyway, yeah, I hope you're enjoying the project or watching me suffer through the project, and we'll keep you all updated.